June 1st, 1954, New York City. A small advertisement appears in the Wall Street Journal. 4 ancient manuscripts are for sale. The seller calls them the Dead Sea Scrolls. 7 years earlier, Bedouin shepherds had entered a cave near Khirbet Qumran on the northwest shore of the Dead Sea. Accounts of the first discovery differ in detail, but the result is clear. Inside the cave were tall clay jars and ancient manuscripts, some wrapped in linen. The first group contained 7 major scrolls. The shepherds carried the manuscripts toward Bethlehem. Dealers began moving them through the antiquities market. 4 eventually reached Mar Athanasius Samuel, the Syrian Orthodox metropolitan in Jerusalem. 3 others came to the attention of Hebrew University archaeologist Eliezer Lipa Sukenik. On November 29, 1947, Sukenik traveled to Bethlehem and examined scrolls offered for sale. The script looked ancient. He believed the manuscripts were genuine. He acquired 3 for the Hebrew University. What had started as a chance discovery was now becoming a race. Scholars needed to know where the manuscripts had come from. Dealers wanted more. Bedouin searchers understood that fragments of old leather could suddenly bring money. Archaeologists understood something else. If one cave held ancient texts, the cliffs around Qumran might hold others. Early in 1949, found fragments from at least 70 manuscripts, including pieces connected with the original 7 scrolls. The location confirmed that the manuscripts had come from the Qumran cliffs. Then the search widened. In 1952, Cave 4 changed the scale of the search. Bedouin treasure hunters reached it while archaeologists were excavating nearby. The cave yielded thousands of fragments from about 500 manuscripts, roughly 3/4 of all material recovered from the Qumran caves. Between 1951 and 1956, Bedouin searchers and archaeological teams worked along roughly 8 kilometers of desert cliffs. Some caves were reached first by local searchers. Others were found by archaeologists. In total, 11 Qumran caves produced written remains. The most important discoveries were not always complete scrolls. Often they were scraps. Thousands of fragments had broken apart over centuries. Some carried only a few letters. Others preserved columns of biblical books, prayers, legal rules, commentaries, hymns, and writings unknown before the discoveries. Cave 1 had already produced the Great Isaiah Scroll, one of the original 7. It preserved all 66 chapters of Isaiah and dated to around 125 BCE, about 1,000 years older than the oldest Hebrew Bible manuscripts previously known to scholars. The scrolls were not all biblical texts. About 230 manuscripts are classified as biblical. Others preserve works outside the later biblical canon, community regulations, interpretations of Scripture, liturgical texts, and apocalyptic writings. Most are written in Hebrew. Others are in Aramaic, and a smaller number are in Greek. Their dates stretch from roughly the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE. That placed them inside the world of Second Temple Judaism, before the Roman destruction of the Jerusalem Temple in 70 CE. The hunt also followed money. The 4 scrolls owned by Mar Samuel left the region and reached the United States. They were displayed, studied, and offered for sale. Then, on June 1st, 1954, the newspaper advertisement appeared. Yigael Yadin, Sukenik's son and an archaeologist himself, learned that the 4 scrolls were available. Negotiations were handled through intermediaries. The 4 manuscripts were purchased for $250,000 and returned to Israel. All 7 of the original major scrolls were now together. But the caves kept producing surprises. Cave 11, discovered by Bedouin in 1956, yielded remains of about 30 manuscripts. Among them was the Temple Scroll, more than 8 meters long, describing laws and an idealized temple in Jerusalem. Other caves produced biblical manuscripts, phylacteries, commentaries, hymns, legal documents, and scraps that scholars would spend decades assembling. The work became a different kind of hunt. Researchers had to match tens of thousands of fragments by handwriting, material, wording, damage, and shape. A piece the size of a postage stamp could alter the reconstruction of an entire manuscript. The Dead Sea Scrolls did not produce one uniform biblical text. Some biblical manuscripts closely resemble the later Masoretic tradition. Others preserve variant readings, alternative spellings, scribal corrections, and different textual forms. The first discovery began with jars in a desert cave. The search that followed transformed the study of the Hebrew Bible, Second Temple Judaism, and the historical world in which Christianity emerged. The next missing piece may still be inside a cave.
Thanks for joining us on this hour on the Archive Hour. Join us on our next hour as we bring you more adventures from the Bible.